Doing. This is Marlene Motivates, and I am your life coach. Today, we're going to be talking about an amazing topic, but of course, before all of those things, make sure if you're new here, hit the like, subscribe, and become a part of the Motivators family. So, welcome, one and all. Today, we're going to be talking about a very important topic, and that is of fear. And I don't know about you all, but fear can be very paralyzing. Fear can grip you. Fear can do so many things to us, but it's always up to us how we deal with that fear. If we confront the fear or we control it. And that's one of the things that I wanted to say to everybody, first starting off this topic today, is that we have power over controlling it. We have the power to confront our fears and do something about it, or we can allow the fear to control us. Okay. Now, I think that that's an amazing thing, even to know that it's very empowering to not just think that I'm afraid, I'm scared of something, and that there's nothing we can do about it. There's so many things that we can do when we are fearful. And I am saying that because I definitely was a person who suffered with anxiety, with doubt, with feelings of worthlessness, and those things make it worse for us to cope with life. So let's get into talking about this topic, how we can push past fear. And I think that's very important for us to even say that, push past the fear, because fear is something that, like I said, it can paralyze us. It can make us feel some type of way. It can make us give in to doubt. It can make us think all type of things about us, ourselves, and other people that is not true. One of the best things to do when we're fearful is for us to, number one, to acknowledge it. You have to acknowledge your fears. You have to acknowledge how you feel, what you're going through. And that's not a form of weakness. I know a lot of people will think that when you ask for help or when you need help, that means it's weakness as a woman or it's weakness as a man. No, it takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of confidence. It takes a lot of knowing yourself. And a person who asks for help means they want to improve themselves, that they want to be better, and they don't allow their situation, financial, emotional, mental, whatever, to inhibit them from living their best life. See, I want every single one of us to live our best life. I want you to live your life to your highest potential. But we can't do that if we keep giving in to fear. Okay. So that's the first point. We have to acknowledge our fears. We have to acknowledge the things that we are dealing with, the things that we are going through, and to even say that out loud. This is a challenge for me. I feel overwhelmed. I feel whatever it is that you feel. When you feel fearful, don't run. Don't feel less than because you're not. Don't feel that nothing will ever help you. And definitely don't feel that nobody cares, because that can be a major challenge for many people. We can self harm. Some of our behaviors is just not good. We are the ones that will talk ourselves out of the very thing that will help us. And to get help, we have to first acknowledge that we need help. And that was me in a nutshell for a very long period of time, feeling that I could fix my own situation. I didn't need other people. I could do it because that's just the way I was raised, to be strong. You never let them see you down. Don't show people things. And for the most part, there are some things about that is true. You cannot trust everybody. You cannot go to other people when you're having these dark moments. but there's things along the way that you have to learn. You have to learn who you can trust, who you can deal with, and you have to learn that because I love myself and because I know that I'm enough, I'm going to allow myself to go past my fear. I'm going to allow myself to get help. I'm going to allow myself to even say the words. I acknowledge that I need help. I acknowledge that I am a work in progress. I acknowledge that I am fearful right now at this moment. And I think that that is something that will ultimately help us when we are humble enough to say, I need some help. I need some assistance. This is a very big challenge for me. I don't know how to get to the next step. This is how you get the help that you need so that you can move past your fears. And the majority of people out there do not do this. They allow those fears to keep them stuck. They allow the fear to get them down, and they listen to people who are very negative. I'm going to pause right here on that because that can be something very dangerous. And especially to any who are dealing with some mental health issues, if you are going through a struggle, if you are overwhelmed by fear, there are many times where I want you to know that it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It doesn't mean you're strange. It doesn't mean you're weird. It just means you know yourself and you want to improve your life. You want to have a better life. And we can't have the best quality life if we can't speak up and say those things. I acknowledge I need help. I acknowledge that I am scared. I don't know how to troubleshoot through this because the majority of people will not acknowledge and say, I need help. I am scared of X, Y, and Z. And that's the reason why so many people, they procrastinate. It's a reason why so many people allow life's challenges to overwhelm them and to make them think something is wrong with them. And it's not true. It does not mean something is wrong with you because you want help or you need help or you're going through something. There's a lot of situations in our life that is something very normal for us to feel discouraged, for us to feel saddened, for us to be going through these major challenges. Or when you go through a trauma, it can give you a fear of the abandonment, the fear of not feeling loved. There's so many fears that we can have in this life that can overwhelm us. So, to anybody who really needs to hear this, you are loved, you are special, you are important, and we need to not only tell that to our loved ones, but we need to tell that to ourselves. Remember that you are enough. And when you know that about yourself, when you know you're enough, when you know that there's nothing that I can't get through, but sometimes we all need some help. We need some assistance in getting through our problems, our challenges in this life, okay? So, in order to push past the fears that we have, first we have to acknowledge it and then we have to accept it. See, that is another part of, you know, sabotaging our own success. We may know, you may even say to yourself, I need some help. I'm going through something right now, but we will not accept the help. You know, it's almost like we know all of the things that we need is dangling in front of us, and this will help us, that will help us, this person will help us, but we can't get that help because we won't humble ourselves enough to say, I need some help. So if you need help, reach out to the right people. I'm not saying everybody, because not everybody's going to be your cup of tea. Not everybody is going to care about how you feel and what you're going through and the struggles that you're facing, but the right people will. And I repeat that again, the right people will care about you and will be supportive. The right people, and the wrong people won't. Sometimes doors in our life have to close. People have to leave our life in order for us to step up in all aspects, step into who we are supposed to be, for us to learn certain things. And one of those things is learning to accept that we are stronger than we think. We're stronger than we believe. We're stronger than we know. And that is so encouraging for me. And I know that that will be encouraging to anybody who needs to hear this message. When you have fear, when you have some problems that you say, and the things that you're dealing with, it's like so overwhelming to accept that this is a challenge that I don't know how to deal with. And I know that it happens to many people who are widows. When you maybe are starting your life over again from some sort of loss, it could be a divorce, it could be grief. There's a lot of things that can bubble up fear into our life and make us feel very down and very discouraged. So I want to acknowledge that you are not alone, even though you may feel alone. You may feel that nobody cares, but it's not true, because the right people do care. And it's very discouraging sometimes when we don't get acknowledged by people, or when we don't get support from the people that we care about them so much, but they do not care about us on the same level. Hi John, how are you? And people don't care about us back like we care about them, and that's very hurtful. But nonetheless, we have to be striving and putting in some work into ourselves so that we can push past the fear. So let's get into point number 3: practicing mindfulness. That's so important, because no matter what you are dealing with and going through, it all starts with your mind. It all starts with how you think about the situation. And I know for myself, when I started doing some mindset shifting, and I started working on my own self awareness and being careful of the way that I speak to myself, I started to shift fears out of my life, because some things that we are very afraid of is our own preconceived notions. It's our own things, or it's things that people put in our head and make us feel like we should be afraid and scared. So that's something that we have to get control over the situation. And the first thing that we have to do is take control over our mind. Okay. If you don't control what you think, if you don't control what you say to yourself, you will always feel down. You will always feel discouraged, and you all will feel overwhelmed. And that is something that I have to say: when you feel overwhelmed, it's very discouraging when you're going through a situation that's very scary, that's very overwhelming, and you just feel like, how am I going to get through this? But you will. It's all about your mind and saying things. And that's why positive self-talk is so important. I'll say that again. Positive self talk is so important when you have something that is very fearful, something that is a challenge, an obstacle, something that is difficult for you. You have to practice mindset shifting. You have to shift the way that you look at that particular situation, because everything is what you tell yourself. If you tell yourself this is overwhelming, if you tell yourself I'll never get through this, or if you tell yourself this is scary, or whatever, the conversation that you have with yourself is vital. It's so important, because if you tell yourself this is scary, I'll never get through this, nobody likes me, I'm alone, I'm this, then you are boosting your own self to get more anxiety, to put more doubt in your mind, and you will not get through it the way that you deserve to. And one of the things about positive self talk that I started to enact in my life and started speaking over my life on a day to day basis is telling myself that it's okay to pause, it's okay to rest, it's okay to rethink. It is nothing wrong with having fear. Fear is healthy. It's a normal part of being a human being, but it's not just saying I'm fearful and run the other direction, because that is what most people do when they have fears. Instead of confronting it, they run away or they make an excuse or they talk themselves out of it. Maybe I shouldn't do that, or I'm not going to try because I won't win, I won't fail. Once or I will fail. So once again, the power of the tongue, the power of your own words having so much power. Words have power over your mind. Words have power over your decisions. Words have power over your mental health. It does everything. So I want to give some encouragement to all of my motivators family and to say that no matter what you are going through, no matter what you're dealing with, first you have to start telling yourself, I'm going to get through this. I'm not the only person. Hey, Julie, how are you doing? Welcome. Let me add you on. How are you doing? Happy Tuesday. I hope you're having a great Tuesday. And that's one of the things that I always am striving to work on, and that's my mindset, how I talk to myself. The conversation that you have with yourself, it matters. Oh, it's raining? Oh, okay. That's going to be very comforting for you. That's one of the things that I always strive to work on is the way I talk to myself. If you tell yourself that you're not going to get through it, if you tell yourself this is too overwhelming, if you tell yourself nobody likes me, if you tell yourself this is too scary, I'll never get through it, you can put your whole self in a panic attack. You can give yourself added fear, added anxiety, when all you have to do is say, take a deep breath and relax. And we're going to get into talking about some ways that we can fight our fears, but I definitely wanted to get through these points about pushing past fear first. So, first, we talked about acknowledging it and accepting it, practicing mindfulness, positive self talk. Yes, happy Tuesday to you and all of the Motivators family. But the whole thing about it is we have to learn to challenge unhelpful thoughts. I don't know about you all, but sometimes it seems like all of these negative things come into my mind. Um, your own issues, the things that you're dealing with. Hi, you're cozy. How are you doing? All of these things come into your mind. Like, it's so overwhelming sometimes, the situations that we have to face as adults, our problems, our bills, our own personal issues, and on it goes. So you have to work on challenging those unhelpful thoughts. I like to remind myself I'm doing the best that I can. I think that's one of the best things that you can do when you're going through something that's challenging and frustrating. Remind yourself, I'm doing the best that I can, and I'm proud of myself. Keep going, do your best. These are the positive, motivating things. And if you focus on the things that you can do, if you focus on the positive things in your life, you won't really have time to worry about the negatives. See, we can't change the situations in life. We can't change what people do. We can't stop bills. We can't stop health problems and issues, but we always have the power over this. There's so much power when you have mind control. There's so much power when you have a positive attitude. There's so much power when you have the right supportive and encouraging people in your life. Hi, Tommy. How are you doing? Thank you so much. And there is so much power in talking about all of these things, because I think more people need to talk about that they have challenges with their mental health, that they get frustrated, that you get discouraged. It's a part of life. Many people face a depression, feelings of worthlessness, and above many other things, fear. So much people, they face so many challenges, and it's very difficult for so many people. But I just want you all to know that you're not alone. You're not the only person that has challenges. You're not the only person that deals with stress and problems and all of those things. So I just wanted to say that to anybody who needs to hear it. You're not the only one that has fear. For me, I always have this constant fear in my mind about what's going to happen next. How am I going to be able to survive with the current living situation, and making sure I can pay my bills, take care of my family? It's always something that maybe you have in your mind that gives you some worry, some anxiety. It gives you some fear, especially if maybe your financial situation is not the best. So that can be something that can be a challenge for so many people. I want you all to know all of that, okay? So another point in talking about how we can push past our fear is for us to work on those unhelpful thoughts. So just like I was saying before, like, don't say you're stupid and you're foolish and nobody loves me and nobody cares, because those things are unhelpful. It does not help us. It brings us down. And something that I learned when I was going through therapy that really helped me a lot, tremendously, I should say, is shifting. Instead of saying something negative when you feel like it, try to focus on something positive, something good, something you should be grateful for, something that you have. And that helps so much when you're going through anxiety, fear, obstacles, challenges, to focus on what you have. Be grateful. And for me, that helps with even my breathing, because sometimes when you're get yourself so anxious, so worked up, you like your breath, your breathing is off, and even your heart rate goes up. So learning how to just relax and take some deep breaths, and just do the best that you can. That's one of the things that I have to say, um, about all of it. Hi, Smoke Deployed. Hi, Stephen. That's one of the things that I always try my best to work on. I may not be able to do anything about other people, but the only person that I have control over is me. You can't control other people's attitude. You can't control the people who show up for you and support you or don't support you. We can only work on ourselves and be the best woman or be the best man that you can be. It's all about ourself, our self-improvement, our personal development, all of those things. Yes, living in the past causes depression. Living in the future causes anxiety. Yes. Yes, don't worry about tomorrow. You just have to do the best that you can. No, it doesn't sound stupid, Tommy. Um, you have to, be really careful about what you take in, and that's why it's called ear gates. Okay, what you take in and what you listen to. Okay, and not just the music, the TV, but also who's around you. What information are people feeding you? Are people feeding you information that may cause you fear, that may cause you anxiety? Or is that something personal? And I know for me, I had to work on that within myself, not saying things to work my own self up, you know, reminding myself I'm doing the best that I can and I'm proud of myself. Focus on the things that you can do. focus on the positive things in your life and make sure you have people around you that keep you positive, because that is something that really messed me up for a really long time, thinking that I could change people, thinking that if I'm nice to them or if I'm kind to people, if I'm loving, pouring more love or giving more out to other people that are disrespectful or rude, or they're just using you, they really don't care about you, it's not going to change them. It's not going to make people, you can't force people to love you, you can't force people to support you, you can't force people to grow up. We can't force any of those things. And for me, that was a thing that was giving me fear, because I knew that I couldn't control people. And that was something that was hard for me to grasp. Like, I thought if I was nice to them, if I'm loving, if I'm kind, why can't I receive it back? But the whole thing about it is those people have to be in that space of maturity and personal growth and development, and want to do the right thing, want to treat other people good because they love themselves. And I feel ultimately the people who are so negative and so mean spirited, even evil, is because they have never learned to love themselves. Let's see. I missed a few comments here. Yes, treat your mind like your home. Be careful what you let in. That's true, Stephen. Your fear was always based in a lack of your fear was based on a lack of knowledge. I learned and I grew up, and I'm grateful for every difficult step. Yes. Some fears are because we lack the knowledge. Some fears is what other people, project, because people love to project their fears, their insecurities, their doubts, and all of those things onto us. But we are the ones that is in control. And I like to remind myself and say things like, whatever they're saying, that's their personal opinion, but it's not what I think and it's not what I believe. Even saying simple things like that, you'll be so surprised how much that helps you, because we can't take on other people's problems. We have our own. It's not that you don't care about people, and it's not that you don't love them, you know. It's one of those things that you have to take care of yourself. Hi, Juba. How are you doing? Welcome. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Hey, Real Odds and Evens. How are you doing? Welcome in. Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. I always say that all the time. Be your best and don't worry about anybody else. Let's see. I don't know what that means, Jay. Okay. So getting back to pushing past our fears and our insecurities, gradually face your fears. One of the things that I found to be so overwhelming is don't try to take on too much. Don't try to do too much. Don't try to be there for everybody. Don't do that. Don't overwhelm yourself, okay? Hi, Odes. How are you doing? Don't try to overwhelm yourself. Don't try to be perfect. We're not perfect people. You have to do what is best for you. And that's something that you have to learn as you mature, as you learn to love yourself, and as you learn to be your own friend. Okay? Yes. That's true, Stephen. Okay. We have 3 more points, and then we're going to get into talking about some other points. Okay? So we have to focus on what we can control. Tommy says, I subscribe, Marlene. Glad I stumbled on your channel. Thank you so much, Tommy. Have a great day. So one of the things that I had to definitely learn, I had to learn that it was up to me. It was up to me how I think. It's up to me how I choose to look at it. It's up to me the things that I say to myself, because I'll tell you, when you're in that space of negativity and sadness and darkness, or you're trying to find a solution to your problem, if you do not talk to yourself and talk to yourself in the right manner, because sometimes we don't always think the best way. We're not always thinking right. We may not have all the facts. We may be that another person, maybe you're dependent on, does not always know all of the details, or maybe you don't have all of the facts. So it's a lot of things involved in the decisions you make and what you think about other people. We may feel we know what is going on with other people, and we may not always know, right? That's something that's really important. So this is important. Focus on what you can control. And what can you control? You can control your mindset, how you think. You can control your attitude, and you can't. Hi Jody, how are you doing? Good to see you. Thank you so much. You can control your mindset, you can control your attitude, and you can control the things that you say to yourself. That is so powerful. Do you know how powerful that is when you have the power, like you're feeling negative, you're feeling sad, you're feeling in a dark space, and you just snap yourself out of it by saying, everything is going to be okay. I know it may not look like it. Sometimes it doesn't look like roses and sunshine. It doesn't seem bright and sunny. Sometimes it's very dark and gloomy. Maybe you have to go through some major trials. Maybe you're going through a traumatic situation. Maybe you're dealing with a day-to-day health problem. It's not as easy as something that you just go through for a little period of time and then it's over. Some situations in our life is a chronic situation. It's something we're going to have to deal with for the rest of our life, okay? Thank you so much, Stephen. Have a great rest of your day. Oh, I'm glad you're on the mend, Jody. Thank you for being here. And to anybody who is in here, welcome. I appreciate any of you who are in here right now. Smoke Deployed says, I'm grateful for the moments of depression, highlighting the love and gratitude. Oh, that's a good way to look at it. I always look at when I have those sad moments and those dark moments, I look at it as a time for me to acknowledge what I'm dealing with and not to sweep it under the rug, not to ignore it, not to blame anybody else, but I own. And that's called accountability. You have to take ownership of the way you are looking at it. And sometimes when we are in that space of licking our own wounds, per se, or feeling sorry for ourselves, we feel like a dark cloud is over us, or we're the only one that has this problem or situation. And it's not true. But we are the ones that have to talk to ourselves and tell ourselves, everything is going to be okay. I'm going to get through this. Everything is going to be fine, because I have the support, okay? I have support, and I think that's something very important when we talk about facing fears. You can get through any challenge when you have supportive people on your side. It doesn't matter, no matter how hard, how heavy, how frustrating, when sometimes you have one or two good friends or two loved ones, even just one person in your life that will send you a message or call you or stop by, somebody to lift your spirits. And sometimes that's exactly what we need when we're going through something. Because I know for me, sometimes that fear that I have is the fear of judgment. You have to be very careful about who you tell your issues or your business to, because everybody does not mean us well. Everybody doesn't want you to succeed and to be happy and to have peace. Some people like drama. Some people like negativity. They like to make you feel sad. They love that. But What are you going to do? Are you going to keep going to people who have already shunned you or already showed that they really don't care? You know, you can't make people treat you the right way, so stop. If somebody has pushed you away or they don't show up or by their actions, they're already telling you that they don't care, leave them alone. Leave them alone. In sad moments, I think of others who may be going through worse situations. For perspective, it humbles me. That's a good attitude to have. That's a good attitude. Because when we think, sometimes I know about myself, and I go through my moments of grief when I'm missing certain people in my life, and I feel like I'm the only person in the whole world. Uh, and you know, yeah, you talk to yourself in those dark moments about, oh, and I'm so down and I'm so discouraged and nobody cares, and that's the time where you have to shake yourself out of it and remind yourself, I do have people that love me. Hi, Ark. I do have people that love me. I do have people that care. I do have people that support me. And everything is going to be okay. You know, I remind myself, be encouraged, keep on going, keep on trying, keep on fighting. Right. They show it time after time, yet want to pull one back in. Yeah. You know, what is that saying by Maya Angelou? When somebody shows you who they are, believe them, and believe them the first time. I don't know what it is about certain individuals, but they have so much power that they can bring us back into their world of negativity and drama and anger and anxiety and foolishness. You know, some people just have so much foolishness, or every time they're around, it's always something discouraging, something negative, something not positive. And these days, I have been working on me and trying to keep in the space of being positive, being happy. For me, I had to make a choice to say, I choose peace. And I hope that for you all too. Make a choice and say, I choose peace. I choose to be happy. You know, that's definitely very important for us, feeling good and having a positive mindset. Okay. Um, Focusing on what you can control. Oh, yeah. Learning from your setbacks. You know, you can take some of the things that probably would have discouraged you and broke you down, and you can use those as leverage or as a way of allowing yourself to get through those things. You know, when you have a setback, everything is the way that you talk to yourself. Do you talk to yourself in a positive way? Okay. Do you encourage yourself? And also, do you acknowledge your role in it? I think ARC 7, I think you should probably talk to somebody, talk to a therapist, talk to a friend. Okay? That's important. Focusing on learning from your setbacks. Okay? Learning from maybe some of the things that maybe have broke you, some of the things that maybe will discourage you, but learning from what you do. And I think that that's very important. um, it's very important to say to yourself, I did not make the best decision. Hi, Chill Will. How are you doing? I did not make the best decision. I I allowed this person to stay in my life. I let this person manipulate me. I let this person lie to me. I let this person make promises to me that that they just would not keep. And that's one of the things that we really and definitely have to be real. We have to be real with ourselves, and we have to say to ourselves, I didn't make the best decision. That's being honest. And I know that that's one of the hardest things in this world, to be honest with yourself when you make a mistake, when you let people manipulate you and lie to you, or you didn't set the boundaries that you needed to with people, and now you feel like you're invested, or people put you in the middle of their drama and their negativity. It's just not going to work. So that's something that comes with maturity, is learning from maybe some mistakes you made in the past. And that helps us, because when you know, okay, I made this mistake, but I learned from it, I grew from it, I'm a better person, and now I won't make the same mistakes over and over again. It's important to acknowledge it. It's important to say that out loud. I am doing the best that I can. I didn't make the best decision at that time, but now I know better. Hi, Chill Will crew. Hi, Garden of Inspiration. How are you doing? Welcome. I made mistakes. I'm not perfect, but I learned from it. I'm accountable for myself, and I think that helps so much in being our best and growing. It means so much when we start learning from our challenges. What did I do wrong? That's number one. What did I do wrong? What did I allow? Okay. And did I grow from it? Because that's something that I like to think about, when people say mistakes. I really don't think we make mistakes. I think that there's times where we were misinformed, lied to, maybe did not have enough self-esteem, didn't know how to speak up for ourselves, and things happened to us and we were in certain situations. But I believe that our problems and the things that people may have done and said to us can grow us. It can make us be more courageous. It can give us more strength. It can teach us how to love ourselves. It can teach us how to speak up for ourselves. And it can teach us to not repeat the same cycle over and over again. And I see it all the time in friendships, on the job, in romantic relationships. If you do not fix and ask yourself, why did I choose that person as my friend? Why did I choose to be in a romantic relationship with this person? Why did I allow this person to use and abuse me? And when you start really being open and honest with yourself, maybe because you didn't feel like you were enough, maybe because you were lied to, or maybe you were filling a void, maybe some mommy or daddy issues, or some unresolved issues. Maybe that person made you promises and you just wanted to believe it. Maybe you were gullible or desperate. But it's important for us to be honest with ourselves and to say that I was desperate. I saw the red flags, but I didn't want to believe it. That's important. That's a part of personal growth. That's also maturity. I made a bad decision. It's okay. Acknowledge it. I made a bad decision. I was not on top of my game. I was not thinking the right way. I saw the red flags and I ignored them. I did X, Y, and Z when I shouldn't. All of that's personal growth. That's maturity. That means that you don't have to keep knocking your head on the wall. You don't have to keep falling down. Okay? You learn, you grow, you acknowledge, you shift your attitude. See, that's the part of maturity. That's the part of personal development. It's developing into something better than what you were. The former you, when you were misinformed, the time where you were looking for other people to fulfill the level of love inside of you. And maybe now you know yourself, you love yourself, you know how to speak up for yourself. So everything that we go through, every challenge that you face, it helps us. And that's what I like to use my painful situations, times where people doubted me, used me, did things to me that hurt me emotionally, mentally, financially, spiritually. It just hurt. I use that now as leverage, as a part of my personal growth. And I say, you know what? If they didn't come in my life and do X, Y, and Z to me, I wouldn't be as strong. I wouldn't be able to speak up. I would not have learned love. And some people, honestly, they help you to get closer to God. It, they came in, and because they were such a bad person, or so lacking in love, or lacking in being evil and manipulative and dark and drama filled, if it wasn't for certain individuals, would you have closeness with God? Would you develop your spiritual relationship? Would you learn peace? Would you mature? Would you grow up? Would you know that's exactly not what I want? Now, maybe you developed and know, now you can say out loud, I definitely don't want X, Y, and Z. I definitely know the next time I'm not going to make those same decisions. That's personal growth. And that's something you should applaud yourself for. Instead of, people say, I shouldn't have dated them. I shouldn't have been their friend. I should not have done this. I shouldn't have. Yeah, sometimes we can have that regret, but that's a sign of your maturity, acknowledging maybe I should have been more patient, but it's something, a tool that we can use and put in our mind. I know the next time to not jump the gun. I know the next time to pay attention to the red flags. I know the next time to run, to block. We learn things and we grow, instead of allowing those fears to be inside of us, or making it have us have pain in our body, or give us some mental health issues, or to have anger. We release it and we let it go, and we have to be self-honest too. Not just saying they did that, because that blame game thing is a real thing. And they did this to me. They did it. They did. But also, we have to acknowledge, what did I allow? That's maturity right there. Chill Wilker says, this is true, Marlene. It's a part of growth. It is. It's a part of growth, knowing what you did wrong, also what they did wrong, but what did you allow? And now you know better. It's the experiences in life. Real Odds and Even says, facts. It was an ignition. Okay. You mean ignition or indication? Okay, so let's get into how we can get into a more detail, talking about how we can acknowledge and accept our fears. So there's going to be 4 points I'm going to get into very quickly, that I think that would be very helpful in letting us push past our fears. So the first one is for us to acknowledge and accept our fears. This is important. Acknowledge, I'm fearful about this. This is what I'm going through. This is what I'm dealing with. Why it's important to acknowledge our fears, our difficulties, our challenges, the things that we're going through, is because we don't want to seem like, oh no, it's not a problem. We have to be honest with ourselves. If you're going through something, you need to say that out loud. I'm going through X, Y, and Z. And then you have to find the things that will support you, support your mental health, support you emotionally, and support you spiritually, okay? All of those things aid in helping us to be our best self, okay? Recognize your emotions. Remember that it's important to acknowledge that you are feeling, I'm feeling fear, and allow yourself to experience it. It's nothing wrong with saying, man, I'm so scared, but then don't judge yourself. Most of the time we beat ourselves up for being afraid. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a natural part of the human experience, the human response to be afraid. But what you do with your fear, now that is what counts. Are you going to use that fear and say, I'm scared, but I'm walking through that door? I'm still going to go for my dreams. I'm not going to listen to other naysayers and haters and drama people, but I'm going to keep being myself. There are so many times in our life where people will say things out of their mouth that's so hurtful that won't work out. No, I know they won't make it. And or when somebody says, somebody that you care about, somebody that you love doesn't give you support when you actually need it, that hurts a lot. But we can't do anything about other people. All we can do is work on ourselves, okay? Acceptance is the key. Accepting your fear is the first step in helping you to move forward and to move past that fear, okay? So, how can we practice mindfulness in talking about pushing past fear? We have to focus on what's going on right now in the moment. Remind yourself that it's about right now and this moment, and all your anxieties, all your fears, all your challenges, everything you're looking at, everything you're facing. Just say, it's going to be okay. You know, we all need that reminder sometimes. We will overwhelm ourselves, get ourselves worked up, blood pressure is high, breathing heavy. We'll work up our own self, and we can't do anything to change the situation but to be positive, but to remind ourselves to do our best, and then give God the rest, or whatever it is that you believe spiritually, okay? Another thing that helps with practicing mindfulness is taking deep breaths. And I know when I get worked up about something, if I get upset, I'm going through something, like I'll just be breathing so rapidly, getting myself worked up. And especially if you have some issues with your breathing, asthma, bronchitis, and etc. Um, it's we all need that reminder sometimes, just when you're upset, when you're angry, when you're frustrated, when you're feeling anxious. And I know that this definitely helps if you have panic attacks. Just breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your mouth, and you just close your eyes. And I like to remind myself, calm down, relax. Okay, relax, relax. Because the more you get yourself worked up, getting mad, screaming, it's still not going to change anything. Okay, so taking that deep breath is helping us with our fears. Yes, Juba, amen. Another thing that really helps is meditating, whatever meditation that you want. For some people, their meditation is being out in nature. Some people, their meditation is just sitting in a quiet space, and just letting their mind be free. Oh, for me, my meditation is the time where I just sit in a quiet space, no noise, nothing, and just talking to myself. You know, I like to speak over my life, and I'm telling you, there is so much power in speaking over your life. It has shifted my life, it has shifted my mindset, it has shifted my focus, it has brought me so much peace. When I just sit and I close my eyes, and I will say to myself, I'm proud of you. You're doing the best that you can. You're a good friend, or whatever situation you're going. You're a good friend. You're a good sibling. You're a good employee. You're just a good person. We need reminders of that too. That even though sometimes people will feel like we're not doing enough, or inadequate to others, don't look at yourself as being inadequate. Sometimes people are just very ungrateful. And no matter how much you do for them, they'll never be satisfied. They'll never be happy. And that's why we have to learn to be self-satisfied. We have to satisfy our own self. You have to speak over yourself and say, I am enough, even if other people don't think I am. That's very important, okay? And another one is challenging unhelpful thoughts. So what are some of the things that can help us? Identifying negative thought patterns, okay? So if you have this idea in your head, like every time something happens and you want to scream, you want to cuss them out, you have to when I feel that way, like I feel like my blood pressure is raised and I'm about to go there, I just start counting backwards from 10. I just close my eyes and start taking some deep breaths. 10, 9. And most of the time, by the time I get to 1, I'm so much calmer. Okay. That helps me so much when I'm feeling anxious, if you're having a panic attack, if your blood pressure is high. You got to relax. You have to calm down and you have to shift that negative thought, whatever is making you upset. You got to stop thinking about the worst case scenarios and feeling that people are personally attacking you and they're coming after you and nobody likes you. Those negative things, it's not helpful. It does not help you when you say things like that to yourself. Nobody cares, nobody loves me, and that's not true. Maybe the people around you maybe don't care, but it doesn't mean everybody. So when we're saying those things, nobody, always, never, that's not true. Maybe the people around you may not care or may not love you, but trust me, I had to learn that sometimes the people that love us are the people we've never met. It's those people who are praying for us. It's those people who will be supportive. Like, I've met so many people on social media that are so positive, so encouraging, okay? So sometimes, if you're not finding the support that you need, you may need to look elsewhere. You may need to search for friends instead of waiting for people who are not caring, who are not proving that they love you, who are not doing what they need to. Leave them alone, okay? Leave them alone. People will see your spirit of trying to please or prove yourself, and they will purposely make you feel like you're unworthy just to make you do more. Yeah. But that's the times I have been through things, situations like that on jobs with other people, even relatives, feeling like you're not sufficient, or they'll be looking at you like and judging you. And when people do that, you just walk away from those people. Those are the people I just say, I'm going to pray for you. You know, you need some help. You need to get some therapy. You need to work on yourself. You need to grow up. And I can't do anything for you. All I can do is keep being myself. One thing that I will say to everybody, never stop being yourself, even if other people may not like you. Don't stop being yourself. Don't stop being happy. Do not let people disrupt your peace. There's so many people and they're so angry because of their personal situation and their drama and their situation. And I can say for me too, I was so angry for such a long period of time in my life, and it had to do nothing to do with anybody else. It had to do with me. Until you resolve your own issues, until you make a choice to not be angry, until you learn how to be honest with yourself, grow up, acknowledge what you do, and forget about other people. Remember, not everybody's going to like you, and you have to understand that's okay. When people say, I don't like your hair, your dress, I don't like this, I don't like how you talk, that's okay. And I said, but I do. I tell people that so often. You don't have to like me, and I don't have to like you either. Move along. Okay? Move along. Hi, Jammin. How are you doing? Yes. Yes, Garden of Inspiration. Go where you are loved. Hi, August. How are you doing? Yeah, accountability. Hey, Realist. How are you doing? Welcome. It's so important to be accountable for yourself. We may not be able to do anything about other people, but one thing that for sure Marlene Motivates is going to tell you every single time, do not change yourself to make another person happy. You will get yourself off track. You can't please other people. People have to love you as you are. People have to accept you as you are. Okay? If they look at you and they want you to do this before they'll accept you, or they want you to do this and that, or they want you to give them money, or they want you to change your ideas and how you think so that they will accept you, then that's just not your people. And it's okay. It's okay to move along. It's okay to not get along with relatives. It's okay to not everybody you see on the streets for people to like you. When people give you a look or say something, let them. It shouldn't take away from what you think about yourself, because that's the things that's important. It's what you think about yourself, it's what God thinks about you, and it's about the people who really love you, care about you the most think. Everything else, you can discard the rest. It's like there's the door. You don't like my attitude, you don't like how I dress, you don't like how I look, you don't like what I talk about, you don't like my light. Some people don't like you because of your peace. Some people don't like you because of your spiritual connection. Some people don't like you because of your consistency. Some people don't like you just because other people like you and they're not getting the shine. They're not getting all of the attention because some people are attention seekers. That's a message for somebody. There's so many attention seekers, especially on this red app. So many attention seekers, and I don't have the time. I don't have the time. I don't have the time to babysit immature people. I don't have the time. People who have some mental health issues. You need to go and work on yourself. It's like you're not going to come over here trying to control, manipulate. I don't do that anymore. Before, the old me, I would have let people run over me. Don't talk. Something bothers me, I would never speak up. Not these days. I'm like, I don't like that. Don't talk to me like that. Or that was disrespectful. You know, if people are having a bad day, they need to keep that to themselves. Don't take it out on me. Don't think you're going to run over me and scream and yell because you haven't worked on yourself. You need to go somewhere else and handle your own business. I don't have the time. Exactly. Take it as who you are or leave it. Exactly. Take it or leave it. Some people don't like you because they don't value their opinion. Yeah, it's true. It's so true. Okay. So we are going to get into, okay, we have 2 more points on that. Challenge unhelpful thoughts. So question your assumptions. Ask yourself, is what I am thinking, is it really true or is it a lie? Is it the truth or is it a lie? Okay. That's important. And this is the third point under that third point. So when we talk about challenging unhelpful thoughts, um, definitely not going to do that. This is a motivational channel. So when we talk about challenging unhelpful thoughts, and we need to work on reframing our thinking. Okay. So for example, when we talk about positive, a mindset, positive focus, sometimes we need to reframe the way we look at it. Look at your situation and look for the light in it. Look for what you can learn from it. What can you extract that's positive? What is there something that maybe you can grow in this situation? Maybe you can learn patience, compassion, understanding, just learning to walk in silence, learning to be your own friend. There's always something we can harvest. There's always something that we can take it away and be a better woman or be a better man. I think that's something that very, very valuable and important. Okay. Reframe your thinking. Not everything that we think is exactly what it is. Don't take everything as face value. Don't think that maybe if somebody didn't talk to you, or somebody that people hate you, people can be having real life issues that has nothing to do with you. People have their own issues and their own problems. Okay. It's important to acknowledge that and to say that. Okay. So let's get into point 4. We only have one more point after this. Point number 4, face your fears gradually. This is very important. Start small. Don't try to tackle everything, like when you have so much stuff going on in your life. Maybe you're having some financial issues, maybe you're going through whatever it is. We all know our problems, but don't try to overwhelm yourself by trying to face everything and fix everything. Work on one thing at a time. And then when you work on that one thing and accomplish it, then you move on to the next thing. And the same thing when it comes to things that you are fearful of. Work on one thing at a time. And then when you overcome that fear, that's when you go like this. I am all for celebrating myself. I'm all for giving myself a high five, telling myself I'm so proud of myself for facing the fear when I wanted to run the other direction, or when I didn't want to bring up something that was bothering me. And that may be a challenge because sometimes we don't want to acknowledge the truth, the reality that we don't like something, that something offended us. You have to face your fears gradually. Don't overwhelm yourself like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this is, and then you don't do anything. And that's why you have these mental health breakdowns and get so overwhelmed and stressed, and your heart is racing out your chest and you can hardly breathe. Don't do that to yourself. Start small. Tackle one thing at a time. Manageable steps. Manageable, okay? Break down your challenges. It's so important to divide them into large things, small things, okay? And then break them down. What can I do? Okay? What is the best thing that I can do? And then do it, okay? Then go for it, okay? Now, this is, oh yeah, and I did say celebrate your progress. Celebrate your success in life, okay? Acknowledge and celebrate, no matter how small. And it does not have to be these big, grand gestures, but do small things to celebrate yourself. Maybe buying yourself a coffee or a tea, a hot chocolate, a small token, a small gift, whatever. Always celebrate yourself, especially when you overcome some big challenge that maybe before you would have struggled with. Maybe before you had an anger problem, and now you know how to be calm. Okay? Now it's not worth it. I don't have to respond, or you don't have to tell anybody what you're going through and what you're dealing. You don't have to convince people of your worth. You don't have to convince people of your light and your power, okay? You don't. All right? And we are here on the last point, everybody. Focus on what you can control. This is what is going to help you the most, okay? And that's why I love this point so much, about pushing past your fears. Focus on what you can control, because if you only think about what isn't happening, what isn't working, that will just get you down and it will discourage you even more so. So focus on what you can control. So how do we do that? Prepare and we plan, okay? Take steps to prepare for the situations, right? And then that's it. Prepare and then plan. Take your steps that you can towards the situation. And then when we do that, when we plan and we prepare for it, it increases our control, because we know what we're going to do, we know what we're going to allow, and then that's it. And that helps so much when life is out of control. I always like to have things in my life that I know, having a set schedule, knowing when I'm going to eat, knowing when I'm going to drink, knowing when I'm going to go home and go to sleep, knowing when I'm going to get my exercise, go to the gym, whatever it is that you do on your day-to-day life. Having a schedule, having things that is within your control when you feel like your life is out of control is very helpful to your mind, your body, and your spirit, okay? Okay. So focus on the positive things, shift your attention, okay, to the potential benefits. What are the benefits in my life? What are some of the positive outcomes? What good is going to happen by having my control? What good? What good? What am I going to learn? What am I growing? And this is something that we need to be happy and proud of ourselves. I'm pushing past my fear. I'm I'm walking in my light. I believe in myself. I'm confident. I'm my own friend. I respect myself. I set boundaries and I enforce them. That's so important, okay? This is something that is important. And the last part about facing your fears is don't wait for perfection. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. Nobody is perfect. So don't wait until you feel completely comfortable before you try something, try to move forward with something that you want to do. Even if you still are facing a little fear, a little anxiety, try. Make attempts. And if something doesn't work out, don't say, I'm a failure, I'm stupid, nothing works out for me. No, just say, okay, I did my best. At least I tried. I'm proud of myself. Everything is about what you tell yourself. And that will help you to move past and push past your fears because you don't have to do things perfect. You don't have to have perfect people in your life. You cannot always have control, okay? You cannot always have people do what you want them to do. Let people be them and you be yourself. It's important. I always talk about over here to just know it, just breathe it, and be it. And that is because when I say just know it, you have to know yourself. You have to know what you're capable of, what you deserve, and just be it. Just be who you are. Don't try to be like another person. You're not, whoever. You're not your cousin or this person or that person. You're not the former you either. You're the person you are today. And this is the thing that you need to celebrate. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of my personal growth and my development. And I am proud that I allow myself to push past my fears and keep going. And then the last part, just be it, okay? Just be you and live your best life. That's something that I always talk about over here. Just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life. And rinse and repeat, as often as you need to. You have to be patient with yourself, love yourself, and be your best self. Okay? Thank you everybody so much for tuning in. I hope some of these tips in here was helpful to somebody in moving past your fears, acknowledging them. Don't give up. I know that it's not easy. I know that there's fears all over the place. Just be patient with yourself. Be calm. Get a plan. Have positive people in your life that will support you, encourage yourself, and remove yourself from people who do not encourage you to be your best. If people are bringing negativity, drama, foolishness, you need to remove yourself from those situations and those people. Do the best that you can, be yourself, and know that you are enough. And we talk about that all the time. I am enough. I am worthy. I am strong. I am courageous. And I always do my best. I want you to say that to yourself. I am strong. I am worthy. And I always do my best. And as long as you are doing your best, it's always enough. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. I'm Marlene Motivates. I am your life coach. Thank you for tuning in. If you're new over here, hit that like, subscribe, and to my motivators, replayers, leave me a comment below. I would love to hear from you guys. What do you think about this? What helps you when you have your fear? I want to hear that. Maybe you'll help somebody in the motivators family to troubleshoot through their fear. I'll see you guys on the next one. Everybody have a great rest of your day. Check out my shorts and my other videos and live streams if you want to hear some more. Okay? Bye, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.